Hello and welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Marcus. It is your boy Marcus. As we already know, it's that time of the year where the seasons are changing, the weather is changing, and it is just good to have some good old hearty food, right? Today I'm going to be making beef stew, and I'm excited to take y'all along the way with me from start to finish with every single thing that I do, as well as what I use from how I make mine. So before we get into the video, if you have not done so already, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, and turn your notifications on all, so that way every time your boy is in the kitchen or every time your boy is doing anything at all, you will be the first to know. All right, so in the next clip, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all all the ingredients that I use for mine, and then we'll go from there. Y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all, today I'm gonna be using garlic powder, onion powder. I'm gonna be using the Lipton's beefy onion. I mean, this Lipton's is a secret weapon in the kitchen, okay? Also the Goya. I'm gonna be using a whole onion, 2 potatoes. I'm gonna be using vegetable broth, also beef broth for that flavor pop. I'm really big on flavor pop. I'm gonna go with baby carrots because it's just easier and less work. It's gonna do the same thing as any other carrot. A little bit of olive oil for when I brown my meat. The Worcestershire sauce, gotta have that. Then I'm also gonna hit it with a little bit of the Better Than Bouillon beef. Of course, we're gonna use some thyme. We're gonna use a whole garlic, a clove of garlic, excuse me. Now you can use the garlic paste if you would like. I'm gonna use 2 pieces of celery. This is cilantro. Then I'm gonna chop up a whole onion. And then the star of the party, I got me some beef, some cubed beef. And I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. When you get this, you wanna look for that white, you want that marble. Look for the marbles on that, like that marble look on your meat. I'm telling you, that is all your flavor, a really nice flavor profile, you guys. And so because I'm not really big on salt, I'm gonna show y'all what I do in the kitchen to help that. And I promise you, if you're like me and you're not really big on salt, you can still get a whole lot of good flavor without using salt. Now, if you are watching this and you use salt, that's absolutely okay. That is absolutely okay, because I'm not totally against salt. I just don't use a lot of it. And I am being honest, every once in a while I do use salt. I'm just not big on it. So when it comes to cooking, because I'm not big on salt, I like to show y'all how I get a flavor pop, and you're not gonna miss salt. So y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna go ahead and prep my vegetables. Y'all stay tuned, and then I'm gonna bring y'all over to the pot with me. All right, y'all, now I have my vegetables prepped. I went ahead, chopped me up the potatoes, put them in a bowl with cold water that keeps them from browning. I have chopped up baby carrots, fresh chopped garlic, onions. I've already put a few onions in the pot already. Then chopped up my celery. And I chopped up my cilantro, and I destemmed a little bit of the thyme, and then some of the thyme I'm gonna leave on the stem and let it cook on the stem in the pot. But just if you decide to do that, just make sure you get those stems out of the pot before it's time to eat. All right, so now at this point, this is where you will go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper or whatnot to replace that. I'm just using a Goya packet. I'm gonna go ahead and rub a little bit in. I have my oil up already heating. That's okay. I'm gonna use that. My counter's clean. All right. Go ahead and get that in there real good. I'm gonna add a little bit more when they go in the pot. All right. I want these up high, y'all. I want to cook these up high. So yes, I do have my oil up high. This is a big pot or a big pan, so I can put plenty in here. I'm gonna put right about that much. I'm gonna add just a little bit more seasoning. And I'm telling y'all, this make this meat have so much of a flavor pop. And it's not salty. It's not salty. So what you want to do is just brown your beef on all sides. Get it good and brown. Again, remember, you are not trying to cook these all the way through. You're just gonna brown them real good. That's all we're gonna do. And so, y'all, while I'm doing this to cut down on time, I already have my crock pot warming up with a little bit of broth in there. I've already added a little bit of onion. So a little bit of onion flavor can already be getting in that pot. Getting in my juice. So I'm going to continue to let that brown, you guys, and then I'll come back and show y'all the finished product of what you want them to look like before you put them in the crock pot. Stay tuned. Alright, I told y'all that I'll show y'all what you're looking for pretty much when they're about ready to go in your crock pot. You want them to get good and brown, like really, really good and brown. So this is how they're looking so far. Alright, so what I like to do as well is hit them a little bit with this W sauce. just a little bit, so that flavor can already start getting over in them. About like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the few that I have left over here. I'm gonna do the same thing to them too. Now, if you were not transferring this to the crock pot, you can actually use all of your juices and everything from out of the pot. You can use that. All you have to do is, before you start adding the W sauce and everything, just drain a little bit of that grease off and you're in there. But today, since I'm doing it in the crock pot, I'm gonna go ahead and just take these out and put them in the crock pot. So you guys remember, if you were not making these in the crock pot, all of this pot liquid gold, you would use all of that. And you can feel free to pour it in the crock pot if you want to, but I'm not. And I wanted to put them on a white plate so you can see the contrast and really see what I'm talking about as far as the color that you're looking for. Man, they are smelling so good, y'all. I'm telling you, right now your house will be smelling really, really, really good. Really, really good. Transfer them over to this plate. I wanted to use a light plate so y'all can really see about how you want them looking. Alright, y'all. Nice, good, and brown. So I got the rest of my other ones in the pan to brown. Again, you don't have to try to get these all the way done. Don't try to get these done because they're going to continue to cook in the crock pot. So y'all make sure when you're doing this, you stay at your pan. Don't leave that pan. Man, I'm telling you, this is gonna have your house smelling so good. And they already looking good, man. They look really, really delicious. Alright, that's about good enough for me. All this seasoning and that good old sauce is already in the pan. These are good. See how I just browned them. Just brown them. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. Matter of fact, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit because I'm getting ready to add my vegetables. All right. And you can add your vegetables the way you want to add your vegetables. I'm gonna add mine all in at the same time to save time, to cut down on time. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add everything in at the same time. My carrots, I'm gonna go ahead and add my onion and my garlic all at the same time. So that way they all cook at once, and plus these are all going to continue to cook in the crock pot when you put them in the crock pot. So whatever is left in this pan from your beef is going to get on your vegetables. It's going to get on your vegetables. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit my vegetables with a little bit of seasoning. A little bit of this sauce, not that much. Then I'm about to show y'all something. At this point is when I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some of this better than bouillon. Also gonna add some to the crock pot as well. Go ahead, take about a good spoon of it, put that in there like that. And y'all are not gonna see me do this, but I'm putting a spoon in my crock pot as well. I already got a spoon in my crock pot. Show y'all what I'm getting ready to do. Get that to going in there like that real good. Now, you can cook yours for however long you want to, depending on the texture that you want your vegetables when you add them into the crock pot. I'm only going to cook mine for maybe about 5 minutes, just to let them get this flavor and everything absorbed in them. And again, they don't have to be too done because they're gonna go in the crock pot. And I don't know about y'all, but when I'm eating my stew, I don't want my vegetables like extra mushy, if that makes sense. So all of this makes the difference. This right here, your prep, what you do right here, that's gonna make the difference to how your vegetables turn out in your stew or soup for those who are making the soup. All right, so I'm gonna let that cook for maybe about another minute, literally maybe only about another minute, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take y'all over to the crock pot. Alright y'all, now this is how that's looking, my vegetables. So I want all of this. I'm gonna add all of this to my crock pot. I want all the juice. Yes, I had drained the oil off in between taking my last batch of beef out right before I added the vegetables. I maybe had like a speck of the juices left from the meat. Alright. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add our meat. And any juice that come off of it. Add all of it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my Lipton's onion soup mix. I'm gonna go ahead and add that over in here. I'm using two, you guys. I'm using two of the Lipton's onion soup mix. Just take and stir it real good. Hit it with my seasonings, which is just onion powder and garlic powder, which literally go on everything. A little bit more of the W sauce. And trust me, it's gonna look like a lot of seasoning, but for this, it's not. It's not. And especially considering I'm not using salt. So what I'm doing right now is getting this real good and incorporated, mixed together really, really well. Go ahead and add the rest of my beef broth. All right. This one right here is actually vegetable broth. Gonna go ahead and add my my tomatoes. Now what I did with my tomatoes was I drained them, rinsed them a few times, like 3 or 4 times, and drained the juice off of them. I'm gonna go ahead and add my potatoes. And last but not least, certainly not least, I'm gonna add, I de-stemmed a little bit of the thyme, and then I chopped up some cilantro. And I also have some of the thyme that's still on the stem. Now, if you put this in here, make sure that you get this out. Or you don't have to. You don't have to. But it's just something that I'm doing because I feel like it's easier to get my flavor incorporated in there real good with some that's on the stem, and it cuts down on time. Like I said, I've already de-stemmed a little bit of this, and then the rest I'm just gonna go ahead and leave on the stem. So I'm gonna put that over in here. what you're gonna do now is just let this cook. That's what I do. I'm gonna come back and I'm actually gonna do a cup of cold water and a little bit of cornstarch, or you can do cold water and flour. Today I have cornstarch, so that's what I'm going to be using today, and I'll show y'all how I do that, how I mix it. Now I'm not going to add my celery right now, and I'm not going to add my potatoes right now. I'm gonna let this cook for at least about a good hour and a half. Of course, checking it periodically. And that's when I'll check to see how tender the meat is, and I'll check to see what my tough vegetables are looking like, which is my carrots. So bring y'all. I'm about to bring y'all over here so y'all can see what this is looking like. This is what we looking like so far. See how you have that color pop? You have that good old color pop. That's what you want. That's what you want. Look real beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So again, I'm gonna let this cook up for about a good hour and a half, and I'll come check on it, and I'll show y'all how I thicken this up too. Stay tuned. All right, this is about how I'm looking, you guys, and this is the consistency of it. So of course I want it a little bit thicker. Now you can leave it like this. It's totally up to you. But I want mine a little bit thicker. And right now I'm right in maybe like the hour and a half. Again, like I told y'all, I'm gonna check on it. So what I'm gonna do here is I already have a small bowl. It's just a small bowl of water along with some season. And what I'm gonna do is add some cornstarch in here. Just regular cornstarch. Just regular cornstarch. Now this is maybe a little bit less than half a cup of it. What I'm gonna do is just pour it in there. Now the thing about this is you can't be slow. You have to be really quick. When you pour this in there, you have to start really, really quickly. Really quickly. Stir, stir, stir. So that way you don't get no clumps. Then you also want to make sure you do it with cold water. Not warm water, not hot water. Cold water, you guys. And it's good. It's good and smooth. No lumps. No lumps at all. And what I do is just pour it in there. See, as y'all can see, it's no lumps. The only lump, this is the beef bouillon. That's it. And that can go ahead and go on in there. And so as that continues to cook, it's gonna thicken up. And of course, I'm gonna keep checking on it, y'all, to see if it's the consistency that I wanted. And you always wanna start off with less. Start off with less cornstarch or flour or whatever you're using, so that way you can build it up to the consistency that you want it to be, because if you make it too thick, it's gonna be kind of hard to reverse it. So we're just gonna continue to let that cook. Y'all stay tuned. So this is pretty much how it's looking right now. I've added my cornstarch in there, and it has thickened up. I don't know if y'all can really tell or not. And so we're pretty much at the 3-hour mark. I've been checking on it periodically. So let's see. Yep, my meat just fell like straight off the fire. I didn't even have to try real hard. So this is pretty much what you're looking for. Like once your meat get real good and fork tender, you're pretty much ready. And of course, you can obviously let it go a little bit longer if you desire to do so. So of course, it's still going to be cooking. So since it's at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add my celery and my potatoes. Now that my meat is really good and tender, I know that it's not gonna take that much longer for it to be complete. So with adding the additional vegetables, the potatoes and the celery, I know that I'm at least gonna let this cook for half an hour to an hour, checking on it periodically. You want to make sure you continue to check on this so that you can get it to turn out exactly the way that you want it to turn out. Now, I want my meat to get a little bit more tender, which of course that's going to happen. That's going to happen as the potatoes and the celeries are starting to cook into everything. And last but not least, maybe down to about at least like the last 10 to 15 minutes, I'm gonna add just a little bit of frozen vegetables that I have. Just a little bit. And then it'll pretty much be complete. So I'm gonna go ahead, let this cook on up. I'm gonna check it again in about another 30 minutes. I know that it probably still won't be ready, at least not to my liking by then, but we never know. It might be. But I know once I add my potatoes and my celery, normally at least about another hour until it's done to the point where I want to eat it. And again, I am now at the 3-hour mark. I started a little bit after 4 p.m. and it was almost, well, y'all, it was 4:45. I remember that. It was 4:45. We are now at 8:15. So right now it's looking like I cooked my stew. It took about 4 hours for me to slow cook my stew on high. But depending on your crock pot, it may vary. That's why it's really important to make sure you're checking on your food. But y'all stay tuned and I'll come back. Alright, y'all, this is the finished product. It's all done. Also whipped a little bit of bread to go with it. So yeah, that's it. Y'all, beef stew. Alright, y'all, here we go. This is my stew. Made me some bread to go along with it. I'm about to eat. If y'all have not pressed that like button, go ahead and press that like button. Subscribe to the page. Let your boy know that you're watching. Turn your notifications on all, so that way every time I post a video, y'all will know. I'm about to eat. Lord, we give you thanks on today. Lord, please bless this food as it make its way down to my stomach. In Jesus' name I pray. Meal complete. I'm about to eat. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of In the Kitchen with Marcus. Until next time.